Hello and welcome back everyone to episode 77 of the Top 5 PvP Battle Series. If you guys want to send in your own clips for the Top 5, you can send them to KristoferESO at hotmail.com. And today, starting us off, we have got Ricky on the Stamina Templar, and he's taking on some yellow just outside of the bridge here. And the enemy Nightblade goes into stealth. Ricky pulls out the Dawnbreaker, pulling the Nightblade out of stealth there, and the power of the light finishing him off with that last little burst of damage. And this guy right away attempts to go for the res. Ricky just turns around, gets the stun, but he's got more and more yellow coming into this fight here. He's taken a lot of heat from these guys, and Ricky's just going to kite back behind the rocks here. Try his best to just get his health up. They're putting a lot of damage into him. He's got a lot of dots, even though he's purging them off. And Ricky's going to open up on this sword here. He set the power of the light. Big Dawnbreaker combo into the jabs. And Ricky just comes right back into the rocks, just kind of hugging the terrain here. The enemy meteor comes down, and he doesn't manage to get the block in time, almost going down to that meteor. And he just keeps kiting inside the rocks here, just going back and forth. Very, very low hit points here. But Ricky is managing to survive it thanks to that Templar Purge, just taking those negative effects off. And he's going to open up on the player here that comes around the corner. A big combo again on this sword, and then hitting him with the jabs to finish him off. And Ricky again finds himself very low hit points. He's just going to kite back behind the rocks and head back towards these guys. This guy did not heal up after eating a bit of that combo that Ricky threw out there. And Ricky tries to go for some damage. Unfortunately, the enemy Necromancer shows his bulk, goes for the heals there too. And Ricky's just going to kite back in the rocks. There we see a huge Dawnbreaker combo. One player down, two players down from the jabs. And Ricky's got the last guy left. Throws the power of the light on him. There we see the dual wield AoE as well, just to pull him out of stealth. And he finishes that guy off with one jabs. And for our next clip, we have got React Faster on the Stamina Nightblade. And he's playing a pretty vicious damage build here. You can see he opens with a huge 14k Spectral Bow on top of that player to bring him down. And React's just going to set his shade down and just try to find a good target to work here. 15k ultimate into the surprise attack. Really clean kill. And there he just shades out of the AoE danger. This player here, unfortunately, did get rezzed. And React's just going to reset. He resets his shade in the corner here as well. And he's just kind of looking for a good target, I think, to pick here. The red player's being a little hesitant to come around the corner. And React, of course, is still in range of his shade. And he opens with a big heavy attack and the big surprise attack into the ultimate. And there you see the Spectral Bow connect. And one light attack poke to finish that player off. A nice clean combo. And React just backpedals into the doorway here. Sets down another shade. And he's going to re-engage with these guys. More red players actually showing up on this location as well. Taking quite a bit of pressure from that stun into the Radiant Destruction. And React makes a good call, just shading out of danger there for the reset. Sets his new shade down as well. And there you see he goes for a lot of pressure. Manages to finish off the target. And then the shade into safety again. And he's doing such a good job with this shade. It just allows him to maintain a lot of aggression in this fight, even though he's outnumbered. And here we go. He opens for the player in the back that he marked. A big stun there from the surprise attack into the Spectral Bow. And another player goes down. React's just going to keep setting that shade, teleporting back and re-engaging with these red players. He brings another red player down. And he's got just 3, I think, players left here. And he shades back out again. Reset. And he goes for the re-engage. It looks like actually 4 players left. He gets the bash right away, preventing that res. And React is just going to try to pick out the healer here. A big stun with his ultimate into the surprise attacks. And the enemy healer goes down, not breaking that in time. And React is going to just continue to keep the pressure up here. He takes the stun from the enemy player. He sets down a fresh shade out here. I think he's decided that he can just take this fight out here. He doesn't need to have that teleport to safety. And there we see a huge 13k Spectral Bow on that very chunky player. He had over 30k hit points. And React's just going to move on to the next target here as a couple more red come and re-engage. And React just runs around the corner, shades back into the middle there, just kiting out a couple of the red players. Gets a good bash on this player trying to attempt the res, and a 12k spectral shot. No crit. Wow, just putting the damage into these guys, and it looks like they've got just 2 players left. And React just continues to put the work into this player here, while the last red decides he's going to get the heck out of here. And that's the fight. Great stuff. Now, moving on to our next fight, we have got a AGroovyKing on the Stamina Templar, and he's going to engage with a group of players in the sewers here right away, just dropping the ultimate and finishing off the first yellow player that he engages with, and Groovy's just going to kite back behind the side here as the big yellow group decides they're going to train on him here, and Groovy's just going to use his speed to back up. The enemy group seems to be a lot slower than him, and of course Stamina Templar having access to that purge is just going to help it stay mobile as well. And there we see Groovy manages to get into a nice safe spot in the cubby here, and he opens up with some dots and his ultimate, putting big pressure into the first player there, finishing him off with the jabs, and Groovy's going to start to work on the next player that's come around the corner here, but the yellow players are starting to amass in this spot here, and Groovy knows that he cannot sit in that tight corner there if he has all the players attacking him at the same time. He goes for a kite to the staircase there, and again, just a direction change, using trying to use the blind spot on the corner here just to keep these yellow confused, and Groovy actually managing to put quite a bit of offensive pressure on top of these guys as he's getting attacked here, and he finishes off the player going for the res there. And Groovy's just tanking it out in this corridor here. Really great footwork to just keep these guys turning around as often as possible. Jumps off the edge of this staircase here and right back up into the cubby, managing to get the interrupt on this player as well. Sets the ultimate down into the dots, goes for the jabs. Unfortunately, yes, he gets him with the jabs there as he comes around the corner. Another player caught low hit points, and Groovy puts the pressure in to bring him down as well. And this guy is attempting to go for the res. Groovy right away hits him with the bleed into the ultimate, taking a lot of pressure from the yellow here. He just drops down and uses that ledge to get a little bit of line of sight. And he's just going to kite back around the side here as the enemy players continue to chase him, just eating the frags from the sorks as well. And Groovy just spamming his bleed from his dual wield, trying to get as much damage out and some healing from that as well. And here you can see he's just using that footwork and using the bleeds to stay alive, tanking out the damage here. And Groovy's going to try to go for the combo, I think. He's taking the pressure from the Zon. Oh no, he manages to get back behind the corridor here, but again, he's taken a lot of damage over time. And the Templar Purge and the heals from that bleed are coming in super handy here. Groovy's able to just tank out all these dots, put a huge amount of damage with his ultimate there into the jabs, and he manages to finish off another yellow player. Moving on to this next guy here, is caught a little bit lower health, and Groovy is trying to go for the pressure, but the enemy player ends up sprinting off, and Groovy is super low on resource this entire fight. He has been playing on the edge of his sustain, and here we go. This guy did not heal up. He must have just blown all his resources trying to take Groovy down there, and now he's got the last two yellow players left. They drop the the Destro ultimate, and Groovy just brings that player down with the dots and the jabs, and then moves on to the werewolf. And this guy as well, just caught with nothing left in the tank. And Groovy managed just to survive that entire fight and stay aggressive the entire time as well. And he finishes off all the yellow here. Great stuff. And for our next fight, we have got Thogard on his Stamina Warden. And he's hanging out outside this keep here as a huge group of red come around the corner, and Thogard right away responds with his ultimate, that major protection, and he puts on some serious offense there, hitting that guy with the Dizzy, the Subterranean, and the Executioner. A huge combo just to nuke that red player, and there you see he catches another player with the off balance. Great partial charged heavy to get that stun, and connecting a big combo again. This enemy Templar here gets hit by a nasty combo, just getting hit by the AoE stun and the Subterranean Assault. Thogard, unfortunately, unable to stick the kill as the Templar goes into his healing ultimate there. Now he's got a few more red players engaging. Thogard just continues to rotate that Subterranean Assault. So much damage coming out of that 10k smack on that guy. And Thogard is finding himself a little bit lower on resource as more red start to join the fight here. But he's just going to keep the pressure up, just laying down that huge AoE pressure, a big Dawnbreaker splash there, and he manages to finish another player off. And Thogard really stuck that kill, taking a lot of damage to make sure that he could finish it. And now he moves on to the last enemy archer there as the last red player runs away. And finally, guys, for our last clip today, we have got animation canceling on the Stamina Templar, and he is hanging out in a tower here, and there are a lot of blue players chasing him up to the top, And he opens up with that partial charged heavy, a big Dawnbreaker smash there. He connects the Executioner and manages to finish one blue player off, but he knows he's not going to be able to keep that body down, as there's a lot of blue players chasing him in this keep. And right away, he finds himself surrounded by blue as he heads to a safer location. And Annie's just going to try to stick out some pressure here. It looks like only 4 blue players on top of him right now. And Annie tries to set a combo on the blue player here, but he's getting swarmed by more and more blue. A big Dawnbreaker. Unfortunately, he does not stick that one out, simply because I think there's too much pressure, and it's a good call. More and more blue players were running around the corner there, and Annie's going to go for some good kite here just to try to break a little bit of distance and buy himself a bit of time. Jumping on top of this guy here, putting great pressure into him, and connecting the Executioner at the end there to finish him off. And Annie just keeps kiting around inside this tower. He's got a lot of blue players chasing him. Manages to stop the res, just getting that cheeky little bash there. And there we see that fully charged bow heavy as he comes around the corner, trying to get a bit of stand back as well. And Annie just responding with a really good stun on that enemy player right away into the jabs. He tries to follow it with the Dawnbreaker. Unfortunately, the enemy players were just out of reach there. And this guy manages, I think, to get that res off as well. So Annie has got no bodies left to keep down again. He's just going to do his best to try to pick off another kill here, putting good pressure into this blue player. But again, as soon as he manages to get some good pressure in, the blue players swarm on top of him. And Annie's going to kite back around the corner here and just look for his opportunity to try to get a body in a favorable position, I think, opening with the Dawnbreaker to start, and then right away into the jabs and putting good damage into everybody in the group. Unfortunately, not able to bring anyone into a lethal situation, though, and Annie just resets again. He's going to have to be patient with this fight, and he knows it. There's a lot of blue on top of him. Look, the Nightblade coming out as stealth at the top of the tower. And Annie's finding himself super low resources, just drinking the potion there. And I think he's got to try to hold his ground here. And right away, he goes for that fully charged heavy. He gets the stun on this player as he was set off balance. And that just sets a nasty combo that Annie can follow up with the Dawnbreaker, keeping the jab pressure on. And he manages to get a kill on that blue player right away. These guys trying to go for the res. And he gets the stun. Unfortunately, I think that guy had immunity, so he follows it up with the bash, manages to prevent the res, however, and he's just going to keep the pressure, I think, on top of these guys. The enemy players throwing a lot of AoE down there as well. And there we go. Annie's going to bail out of there. There's an enemy player up at the top here, just kind of throwing some arrows at him. Annie's going to put a bit of pressure in there, but again, he doesn't want to hold still for too long. He's trying to find his opportunity to split these guys up and put some bodies down in a good spot. He gets another kill there from one of the enemy players. This guy standing at the top, not paying attention. Annie's going to get him with the Dawnbreaker into the jabs. And then he connects a nasty stun on top of this enemy Sork here. And Annie keeps up the jabs on top of him. The enemy Sork having a lot of trouble just targeting Annie. The foot movement on this build is really good. He has quite a bit of movement speed even while he's jabbing. And there you see the Executioner come down, and he cleans out the tower. And of course, our bonus clip, we have got a crazy Dunmer on a Vampire Magicka Dragon Knight, getting an excellent group wipe, so we hope that you guys enjoy this. A huge shout out and thank you to everybody featured in today's episodes. Be sure to check out their YouTube and Twitch channels down in the description below. If you guys want to send in your own clips for the top 5, you can send them to KristoferESO@hotmail.com. If you want to know what's going on with me, you can always give me a follow on Twitter as well. Check out my live streams on Twitch if you guys want to see some gameplay, or if you just want to come and hang out. Check out my website, KristoferESO.com, for written guides to all of my builds, as well as a hub for all of my ESO content. We are sponsored by What the Fast. They're a VPN for gamers. They can give you better ping to your favorite games, and they're free to try for the first month via the link down in the description below. And then last but certainly not least, a big thank you and a big shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. Thank you guys for helping keep the dream alive and supporting what I do. As always, thank you everybody for tuning in and watching today, and I hope that you guys enjoyed, and have a great night, everyone.